What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG deck builders. Anyways, let's go ahead and break down this deck. This is probably the meanest deck I've ever created. And as you guys can tell from the title, this is an unlimited deck. So you're going to use all forms of cards from the beginning, going all the way back to base set, and all the way up to Sun and Moon. I don't have any Sun and Moon cards in here, I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But it's unlimited, so I could use any card, every card, all cards are legal. Now, the thing is, unlimited tournaments are real. There are unlimited tournaments out there that are, I believe, sanctioned. And this deck in particular, I believe, would be banned. Because of its ability to prevent all damage. It prevents all damage, it prevents energy denial, there's no way to mill it, so it's really all around, you're going to concede once you see the theme of the deck. But I wanted to kind of do a different deck build and use a lot of my old cards I had that were just laying around, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what type of a deck builder I can become. And let's go ahead and show you what this deck is. I'll just read out the cards first, and like always, and then you guys will see what happens when I start explaining cards here. So, we got a Mr. Mime, Smoochum, Magby, 2 Klefka, 2 Igglybuffs, 2 Rousey, 2 of them, 2 Hypnos, 4 Ben Shields, Computer Search, Luxury Ball, Charity, Crushing Hammer, 2 red cards, 2 Lasses, 2 Gust of Winds, 2 Switches, 3 Enhanced Hammers, 3 Energy Removals, 3 Super Scoop Ups, 3 Super Rods, 3 Level Balls, 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, 1 Department Store Girl, 2 Judges. Where are the other judges? Oh, there it is. So yeah, there we go. 2 Judges, 2 Lysander trump cards, which are banned currently, but those are legal in Unlimited. 2 Shauna, and 3 Professor Oak's New Theory, and 5 Energies. So that is the deck. Let's go ahead and explain this to you guys. So, like I said, this is a very mean deck, and I'll go ahead and explain why now. Okay, so Mr. Mime is your main attacker, and in current standard, there are things called abilities. Well, back in, I believe, from Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and beforehand, they were all Pokepowers and Pokebodies. Now, Pokepowers were things that were that you didn't have to use, but they're just automatic. And Pokebodies, you have to have something that dealt with you using it. So, this is a Pokepower, Invisible Wall for Mr. Mime. He only has 40 HP, so he's not unbeatable. But his Pokepower is really dangerous. And it says for Invisible Wall, whenever an attack, including your own, does 30 or more damage to Mr. Mime after applying weakness and resistance, prevent that damage. Any other effects of attacks still happen. This power can't be used if Mr. Mime is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. So just remember that. If he's asleep, confused, or paralyzed, he can be destroyed, but anything that's 30 damage or more, you can't beat him. It's impossible to beat him. Back in the day, this was not banned because there were Pokemon that were doing less damage than the required amount damage, but they were considering him to be banned because of that. But nowadays, he's not banned still, but it's a rude card to use, and it's in this deck because of the theme. I would run more Mr. Mimes, but this is the only one I have, so for now, we're just running one. We got Mediate, which does 10 damage, plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on the defending Pokemon. That's dangerous. This is going to add up real quickly since he's the main attacker. It takes about 2-3 turns to turn Pokemon, sometimes 4 turns if it's an EX or GX to destroy. But this is a very dangerous move right here. And it's only for Psychic and Colorless, and obviously we run 5 energies, so we can really attack with him. So only 1 retreat cost. And yeah, this is from Jungle. Rare Jungle card. Smoochum. Now we're getting into our babies. Now this is another reason why this deck is probably banned, but I've never played it, so no one knows about it. 30 HP, Pokebody, Sweet Sleeping Face. As long as Smoochum is asleep, prevent all damage done to Smoochum by attacks. Now, this isn't impossible. You gotta roll each turn to see if they're awake, right? So, it's possible to win, but it's still possible not to. So, it's this ability here on all the baby Pokemon that you see in here that becomes annoying, and that it prevents all the attacks to them. So nothing can hurt them if they're still asleep. Here's the cool thing: for no energy, that's what this little thing right here is, right? Energy Antics. Move an energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Another of your opponent's Pokemon, Smoochum, is now asleep. Okay, normally I wouldn't have him out there, but sometimes you need to move an energy for Mr. Mime just in case he gets knocked out. So that's why we have Smoochum here. And you'll notice that they all have no weakness, no resistance, and no retreat cost as well, all of them. Magby, again, 30 HP. Pokebody. Sweet Sleeping Face. As long as Magby is asleep, prevent all damage done by Magby by attacks. For no energy, play with fire. The defending Pokemon is now burned. Magby is now asleep. You can see where the annoyance comes from. Klefka, same thing. Sweet Sleeping Face. As long as Klefka is asleep, prevent all damage done by Klefka by attacks. For no energy, Eek. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards. Klefka is now asleep. And then we got 2 Igglybuffs. Again, it's the same thing with Igglybuff. Sweet Sleeping Face. As long as Igglybuff is asleep, prevent all damage done by Igglybuff. Done to Igglybuff by attacks. For no energy. Graffiti. Igglybuff is now asleep. During your opponent's next turn, the attack cost of each of the defending Pokemon attacks is 1 more. So a colorless more. Which is very disruptive, actually. We got 2 Drowsies. He's never going to be played, never be an attack unless you absolutely have to. He's just there for bench until we get Hypno. You'll see why. Hypno. He's got an ability, so the only thing that would shut him off would be Garbiter and Hexmaniac. Whereas those guys, you need to have a Team Rockets card that's from back in the 90s. It's called Goose that will shut off those abilities. With this ability, obviously, once you return for attack, immediately both active Pokemon asleep. Yeah, you see the theme now. Zen Headbutt for attack for 2 energies, 50. He's a backup attacker, so we will use him as a backup attacker sometimes. More than likely we won't, but sometimes. He's really there just to constantly make your opponent have a pain in the butt to get you to do attacks. Now, if someone's thinking, oh, well, his bench is all full and it's weak to bench attacks, think again. We run 4 copies of Bench Shield for a reason. This straight here is a Heart Gold, Soul Silver. No, this is a Platinum card. This goes all the way back to Platinum, okay? Where Arceus was ran and everything. So, Bench Shield does this. Attach Bench Shield to one of your Pokemon. It doesn't already have Pokemon Tool, so it's a tool. It's just like a float stone. I'm fighting for your belt. Okay. Attach it. If that Pokemon is knocked out, discard this card, obviously. And then it says, as long as this card is attached to on your bench, prevent all damage done to that Pokemon by attacks, both yours and your opponent. You can see saying like, why don't you run Mountain Range, right? Well, I'm thinking about it. I haven't decided to run that yet because then it prevents all damage. But there's also this other Stadium card out there that allows me to prevent all damage done to my active, and if someone proclaims an attack, you gotta discard the Stadium. So I don't know which one I want to use yet. This is still a work in progress. But for now, I've used this, and it's interesting. It's an interesting combo. But you can't do any damage. So if you're thinking of getting like Mega Audino out there to destroy, it's not going to happen. If you're thinking of putting Mega Blastoise out there, not going to happen. Persimmon out there, no, not going to happen because Bench Shield's going to protect you from doing any damage to your bench on any of those Pokemon. So remember that. Now, unfortunately, you can only run one computer search because of the ruling through Pokemon, because it was reprinted as an A-Spec card, A-Spec trainer card, I believe in black and white. But this is the base set version. Does the same thing, same wording. It says discard 2 cards from your hand. If you're in order to search your deck for any card, you put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Pretty simple, basically an Ultra Ball. The only difference is it's any card. It's very disruptive, very dangerous, very good. Now, back in the day, during I believe this is Platinum again. This Luxury Ball was in every single person's deck, and you only ran one of because of what it says, but it's basically the old Master Ball, the A-Spec Master Ball in black and white. It says, search your deck for a Pokemon, excluding Pokemon level X, which we're not worried about those level X's because there's no level X's in here. Show it to your opponent and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. If any Luxury Ball is in your discard card, you can't play this card. So that's why you only run one, right? So, but it's any Pokemon, and that's just awesome. Charity's interesting. As you can tell, it's supposed to be a supporter, but back in the day during gyms, in like 99, I believe, or 98 when it came out, this wasn't a supporter, so this was a just trainer. So we used it as just trainer because it was never printed as a supporter card. So it says attach Charity to your active Pokemon. Unless that Pokemon gets knocked out, return Charity to your hand at the end of your turn. That Pokemon's attacks and does damage to the defending Pokemon. You may reduce the damage of any amount found in the nearest 10. So pretty much you're healing your Pokemon. Well, you only run one Crushing Hammer because I'm trying to get another energy removal so I can get rid of this card. Energy removals is such a better card because it's instant. Get rid of energy, but Crushing Hammer is a substitute for now. Just flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy from your opponent's any one of your opponent's Pokemon. Obviously, your Crushing Hammer is disruptive. It's good in this deck. 2 red cards just to beat deck. Pretty much that's what it is. Your opponent shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, draws 4 cards. It's disruption. Obviously, this deck is all meant for disruption. Last is supposed to be a supporter. Now the thing is, Last was never reprinted as a supporter, and this is from base set, so we can use it as a trainer card. So here's the cool thing about Last. You and your opponent show each other's hands, then shuffle all the trainer cards from your hands into your deck. Very disruptive. I hope they reprint a card like that again in the near future as a supporter. Be a really cool card. So Gust of Wind is actually a ban card, but this is unlimited, so we can use them. Gust of Wind is the old school Lysander before it turned into a supporter. Gust of Wind is an item card, so you can, it's very OP. It says choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it with his or her active Pokemon. So this is the base set, and this is the base set 2 version of that. But it's obviously for disruption. Switch. Old school switches from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And basically, we're going to switch Mr. Mime if he takes too much damage, put him on the bench, and you know what this switch is for. It's switch out the Pokemon. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. It's because I can't run Floatstone because of those 4 bench shields. 3 Enhanced Hammers. Obviously, discard special energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. Pretty simple. Disruption, disruption, disruption. Energy denial, energy denial, energy denial. Energy removal. Choose one energy one energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon and discard it. Basic Crushing Hammer, just better. It's just better. Energy denial again. Now let's say Mr. Mime's taking too much damage and you can actually get damage, or one of your Pokemon are taking too much damage and not dying. Super Scoop Up's in here. We run 3 of them. Flip a coin. If heads, return one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it in your hand. Pretty mean. This is why we run Super Scoop Up. It's just in case purposes. Super Rod. We run 3 of these. Shuffle 3 cards in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So if Mr. Mime gets knocked out, boom, there we go. Shuffle it all back in your hand, in your deck. 3 lovable. Choose your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. It's really there just for getting out Hypno and Mr. Mime. Because the baby Pokemon obviously will get out when we do. But that's basically what level walls are. We never have to discard any cards to get any Pokemon. So that's the cool thing about this deck. Another disruptive card. We run 4 copies of Hypnotoxic Laser. These, if you guys remember the black and white era, this was a really mean card. Expanded still, it's still playable, it's just really mean. It says your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Flip coin, if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now also asleep. So if you run Hypnotoxic Laser and you're running Magby, you're going to be doing poison and burn damage on that Pokemon. So instead of just 1 damage counter per turn and 2 damage counters per turn, you're doing 3 damage counters per turn, which is really mean. So there's other ways of attacking without Mr. Mime. That's what makes this deck so difficult to come around, and partly why I'm pretty sure it would be banned. Here's another card that's really mean. It's a supporter. Finally, we're getting energy supporters. Department Store Girl. You can only play 1 supporter card each turn. Whenever you play a card, put it next to your active Pokemon, and turn ends, discard a card. So that ruling right there is not really ever needed anymore because we don't do that. But it's just, that back then in the day in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, no, this is Platinum. Back then in the day in the Platinum era, that was brand new. Supporters were brand new. And you would put them right there so they would know that you used your supporter for the turn. So at the end, you would discard it. Now we know how many supporters we play, so we don't have to have that ruling anymore. But still, you keep in mind, okay, I used my supporter to turn. But here's the supporter. This is interesting. This is how we're going to get our benched shields. Shoot your deck for up to 3 Pokemon tool cards, show them to your opponent, and put them in your hand. Shift your deck afterwards. That's how you get your benched shields. Or Charity. Charity's a tool card too, technically. It doesn't say it, so I don't know if you'd be able to grab it. So probably won't be able to grab it because it doesn't say tool. It has to say the wording on there as tool. So. Judge, we run 2 of them, and basically it's the same card as the reprint that came out in Breakthrough. It's this older version from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck and draws 4 cards. It's the same print, just older school Judge card.
It backfired on me yesterday.
Did it, Judge? You used Judge?
You used Judge on me, and I got like the 4 best cards out of my deck.
Oh, ouch. So that's Corey, guys. He's here.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm just kind of waking up.
Yeah, I was trying to be quiet, but I'm kind of too loud. So.
You're good. I just was still waking up when you sat down, and I'm like,
yeah. So, this, if you guys think you're going to go ahead and try to mill me, it's not going to happen, even though this deck is really slow. So, Lysander's trump card. Each player shuffles all cards in his or her deck into from his or her discard pile into his or her deck, except Lysander's trump card. So we run 2 of them. I'm thinking about putting 2 VS Seekers in here just so we can grab them, just so you can never mill me out. But this card right here prevents mill decks from winning. This card here is also banned. It's been banned the week after it became legal in the set that came out. I believe it was Phantom Forces, I believe. But you can't play this card even in legal standard right now. You can play it in Unlimited, but that's it. This card is severely banned. But with Unlimited you can play it, so that's where you run 2 of them. This is an Unlimited deck, and I'm pretty sure it's a banned deck if I were to ever use it. So, like I said, if you can't tell, guys, we don't discard in this deck really, except for the computer switch. That's it, because we don't need to. You don't need to. That's part of the reason why it's so slow, because you're not discarding anything. Shauna. Finally get to use Shauna in my deck. Shift your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards. It's just for draw power. That's really all it's there for. If you can't tell, I don't have any Orangaroos or Shamans, because you don't need them. You don't need them in this deck. Although I'm thinking about putting maybe a 1 of Professor Oak's new theory. So we're going back to Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And back then, this is the era where we didn't have the discard your hand and draw 7 card. Instead, we ended up getting Professor Oak's new theory at this time. So during this time, there was a little bit of a period of a rotation where there was no discard your hand, draw 7 cards, because Pokemon wanted to try something different. And they decided to come out with Professor Oak's new theory, which is an amazing card. I hope they reprint it. I just don't know if they ever will, because it's an OP card. And they came out with this card, which does shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards. Basically what it is Shauna on steroids. You're just getting another card. It's 6 cards instead of 7. I understand. You're not discarding anything. The only thing is, I would still run Professor Sycamore in a deck, in any deck, except for this one, because this one you don't want to. Because you can get and thin out your deck. So you would want to run Professor Sycamore in your deck somewhere. But back then, when they didn't have the rotation with that one card, back then this was the most OP card you could have. So I mean, it's still really good. Obviously, I wouldn't be playing it if that was the case, but it's. I hope they reprint it. You're going to see that being played a lot if they did. And obviously, your 5 energies. We got the Heart Gold, Soul Silver energy, which is worth a lot of money. And base set 2s. And base set energies in here and stuff. So, but 5 energies to power up your Pokemon, and obviously we're only using Hypno and Mr. Mime for attacks. So that is my unlimited, probably gonna be banned deck that I made. It's just prevent all damage everywhere and just slowly eat away your opponent and piss them off. So that is all we have for today, guys. And as always, thanks for your support and supporting my videos. And I will have much more content for you here in the near future with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you guys get a chance to, hit up Galactic Toys. GalacticToys.com. You're awesome, guys. You'll find all your Pokemon needs there. Unfortunately, I didn't buy any of these cards from them. These were all my... It was before they were around. But
maybe not around, but in the picture, at least.
No, that was before they were around. Sure. Yeah, these cards go all the way back to '97. So. I wasn't sure how long they were around, so. Yeah, so none of these cards were actually bought at Galactic Toys, but they're awesome, guys. So I love to advertise them because you know they match your pricing. So you know, if you got a question on the card, just ask them. Hey, can you make it to TCG player, and they will match to TCG player or to Controlled. So just remember that, guys. They're awesome guys. Hit up Jeff, and I'll have a link in the description below. And I will see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.